All right. Well, this is sort of a quick, unplanned type of stream. I may very well be going live again later tonight, but I wanted to get on here and show that yes, you can image to physical machines from Fog. This is an Intel NUC that was donated to the channel, and it is imaging over the network. So I'm going to let this go and we'll see what happens when it restarts. So far, it's doing what I'm expecting it to do. This is an older NUC. I believe it's a Celeron. Not sure the model number, but for purposes of demonstration, it will certainly work. All right, successfully restored image, resizing the volume. And when this does reboot, I need to hit F10 so I can make sure I boot from the internal drive and not the network. So I'm going to start smashing the F10 button. Okay, and we've got a Kingston drive in the SATA port. So let's see if this boots up into Linux Mint. And what should happen is we should get into a Linux Mint first boot wizard. Hopefully. Maybe. Hey. Looking good so far. As I said, this is an older machine, so I expect it to take a little while longer to boot up. Hey, Grish, welcome in. This was sort of unplanned. I was just messing around in the lab or office or studio, whatever the hell you want to call it. And I got this NUC out that I had donated to me a while back. And I thought, well, let's hook it up to the Comet KVM and see if we can't dump Linux Mint onto it from Fog. And looks like it's doing its thing, just slowly. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go back to full screen mode. Okay, so continue slowly. Well, so that's doesn't surprise me because I didn't schedule this. I just found that something was working with the Comet, and I thought, well, I'm not going to try to reproduce this later. I'm just going to hit the go live button and see what happens. So, saw it in your YouTube feed. Nice. Oh, notification feed, but not push notification. Yeah, YouTube notifications in general are a mixed bag at this point. I actually find out about a lot of videos by subscribing to the RSS feed for the channel and for the different channels. And I find that to be a much more reliable notification mechanism. So anyway, I just this is not a fast system. I would be surprised if it has more than 4 gigs of RAM, but we'll check out specs once we actually get into Mint. So, I am going to step out for just a moment. I will be right back, and you can feast your eyes upon the progress bar that's moving ever so slowly. Okay, I'm back. I am feeling much better. It is handy having the little room, as my father would call it, right next to the studio. Lately, my YouTube recommended feed has been your older members only videos. Interesting. Interesting. There are probably a few gems in there, but I mostly made. Well, I made a lot of those members only. Um, oh, it did work. Saw some messages there that were making me worried. There might be some gems there and some of that older stuff, but I mostly made a lot of stuff that I felt was outdated for general consumption, and I made it members only instead of just removing it from YouTube. Maybe that's why you see comments from me on old content. That's completely possible. Right now, I'm streaming from StreamYard. I just it's quicker. I find it to be quicker to get started with a last minute stream using this versus live reacting. Let's see if this wants to play nice. So, yeah, for whatever reason, most of this weekend I've been pushing water really hard. So, what goes in has to come out, right? Okay, don't show that at startup. I want to go to settings and system info. Why is that not? That was interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. So this Linux Mint 22.1, Cinnamon 646, kernel 6.8, does have 8 gigs of RAM and basically a 1 terabyte hard drive or a solid state drive. All right. Let's do software sources first. Those are both US. That's good. Let's see. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Too many conflicting keyboard shortcuts, right? All right. Well, we'll let this run some updates, and then I might have to think about relocating this somewhere else. I'll probably put a different OS on it, in all honesty. But let's see. Don't need it connected to wireless. Wired connection 1 should be doing okay there. All right. Oh man. Do a surprise early stream and people actually show up. I did no filling in of information on YouTube on the back end, and I'm actually surprised to see people. I guess it is 8:15 now. Alonzo, welcome in. And Christopher, how are you? Today, well, all weekend I've sort of been taking it easy because I did something to my knee. I think I smacked it somewhere. I've got a nice black and blue spot on my knee, and it's been kind of tender to walk. So I've sort of been a couch potato more this weekend than I had intended. Although I have spent a good amount of time in the studio doing some things. I actually recorded a video for my second channel. I've actually got to go grab that footage and see if it's actually usable, because I recorded that downstairs on a Linux box using OBS and the Insta360 camera. I actually recorded the whole thing in Linux. Imagine that. The tech channel, I'm using mostly Mac OS, and the non-tech channel, I'm at least starting off using strictly Linux. So if that's not a paradox for you. So yeah, I just have been kind of babying that knee this weekend. It's doing much better than it was yesterday. I've got a black and blue spot on the inside of it, but it's not near as tender today as it was yesterday. So I suspect I am on the mend on that. So if it goes more than a couple days and I'm still having issues, I will be making an appointment to have it checked out. But if it continues to make progress, then I probably just got up in the middle of the night to use the restroom and smacked my knee on the footboard of my bed. Because, you know, if I'm in the dark and I don't put my glasses on, I'm prone to doing such things. um, Pedro, welcome. Good to have you here. So we are installing, well, we've got Linux Mint installed on this Intel NUC that was graciously donated to the channel. And I wanted to get on here and do this as a demonstration solely because people have been asking and kind of making a mountain out of a molehill about me using Proxmox to in many of my demonstrations. And I'm trying to, in every way I can conceive, I'm trying to make clear to people that you can make the leap. And when you do, you will realize that a virtual machine and a physical machine are not that different. And you know, this is just another attempt in making that as clear as possible. And so in this instance, I'm connected to the NUC via a Comet KVM. And so the screen you're seeing is actually a full screen web browser connected to that KVM. So you know, when you watch a YouTube video doing a demonstration, things are not always as they appear. And sometimes that's on purpose in order to make what's being demonstrated more clear to the viewer, right? So, yeah, I didn't really have a big plan to go live tonight. I've been tossing around some ideas, and I just didn't have anything that really popped in my head. So here we are doing this at a time that is not typical for the channel. Going live at 8 instead of 9. I always try to give a 30-minute minimum schedule time ahead of going live, but when I started up this NUC machine and it was actually working, I quick threw this together and said, let's just do it. So maybe before this is over tonight, we will go into Canva and we'll put together a thumbnail that will go on this video after we end the live stream. And you know, I'll have to do some cleanup on the back end. So anyway, has anybody been doing any fun home lab type stuff over the weekend? I've been tossing around a few ideas. I started some work on the preparation for midweek news for Wednesday. I'm also going to be making a new RescueZilla video that will probably come out Friday or Saturday. Since they have a new release out, which sort of surprised me. But I never made a video for the 2.6 version, so I'll make a video for the 2.6.1 version. And then I may follow up the following week with a video that does a little bit deeper comparison between RescueZilla and Fog, just so people are very clear on, hopefully very clear on the differences and, you know, the overhead that's required for Fog versus RescueZilla, and, you know, where one may be more flexible or more suitable for a given use case, right? Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Right now, I'm just at the mercy of the speed of updates. And yeah, I mean, this machine seems to be working rather well. I kind of want to, and I don't know how interesting people would find this, but I kind of want to come up with a way to benchmark my different machines. Preferably a benchmark that I can boot from a USB stick, run the benchmark, and, you know, be able to collect the data, right? But like I said, I'm not sure how interesting people will find that. But you know, it would be kind of interesting to benchmark the Celeron system against the N100 system, against the, what's the other one, the 50, the N5095. I think that's also a newer Celeron. Just to see where some of this lower power equipment comes out across different generations. I'm just not sure there exists a benchmark utility that can run on a USB stick for that kind of purpose. I'm going to have to take a look at that, but I think it would be interesting. So anyway, we've got Linux Mint over here, and you know, it's full Linux Mint. I don't think it's going to win any speed awards, but just for sake of argument, I can't complain. It's definitely not the fastest machine I've got on the network, but it's doing all right. So let's see. I have an N100 NAS, and it works pretty dang good. Yeah. I'm curious about some of these lower end, so-called lower end NAS boxes. And by the sounds of it, from a few different YouTube channels that I follow, probably in the next year to 18 months, we're going to see some transition between the from the N100 to the N150 and the N355, which I think will be interesting to see what capabilities open up in some of these NAS boxes, especially some of these ones that are on AliExpress and such right now that, you can cram four hard drives and 4 solid state drives in them. Of course, the N100 being the limiting factor with the number of PCIe lanes it's got available. But you move to an N355, and I couldn't rattle the specs off the top of my head, but it should add a few more PCIe lanes and make some things a little more available. Okay, so all right, what else can we talk about tonight? Since we started at 8, we'll probably go until 9:30-ish Eastern. I do have a few additional things to clean up here in Fresh RSS before I draw the line in the sand for Wednesday's midweek news. But one thing I did want to show here, we come up to the PVE node and we open a shell. Why is that not opening a shell? I know that machine is running. Well, that's interesting. Maybe it's not running. Well, did something go awry here on this? I'm curious. No, that's on 214. Okay. Maybe that machine did shut down for whatever reason. All right, we can work with that. So let's go to PVE 03. And some of you will have seen me talk about Prox Menu X. And this is sort of a menu-driven utility that you can run from the, Proxmox command line. And of course, I don't have it installed on this one. My bad. Well, anyway, we can run it from here. We just won't go through the upgrade process. So when you install this on a Proxmox machine, you run a command called menu. And it's got some pretty cool stuff in here. They just released another update the other day. So, they've got different post-installation scripts. One you can customize, one you can run automated. You've got community scripts for post-install. Got help and info commands, useful system commands. Some of this is, if you're in a situation where you can only connect to Proxmox either via a serial connection or an SSH connection, being able to run some of this stuff in a terminal window could be very useful. You've got VM and container management commands. You've got storage and disk commands. So I'll say we do number 4. And it lists all my disks and their IDs and things. Number 5, part-ed command not found. So we can't run that one. 6 tells you how much free space I've got on each versus what I've used. Just pretty interesting stuff that you can run. And the N100 having a 16 gig RAM cap and single channel only. Yep. Hey, Terrell, welcome in. Oh, Proxmox 9 beta is out there. I did not know about that. I have not talked about that yet. Well, that makes things interesting. So okay, well let's take a look at that then, because that's very interesting to me. Proxmox VE9 beta 2 days ago. Okay. This is cool. We are pleased to announce the first beta release of Proxmox Virtual Environment 9.0. See, I've been saying right along that this was going to be coming this year. Based on the great Debian 13 Trixie, comes with a 6.14 kernel, QEMU 10, Lexi 6, OpenZFS 2.3.3. Right. So Ceph Squid is updated. SDN fabrics for complex routed networks, enabling advanced use cases like 2-layer spine leaf architecture or a full mesh Ceph cluster. Interesting. Snapshots for thick provisioned LVM shared storage. For setups connected over iSCSI or fiber channel to a SAN. ZFS 2.3 with RAID Z expansion, countless GUI and API improvements. Very cool. Okay. So let's have a play tonight. Let's play a little bit. So let's use Proxmox Data Center Manager, which is alpha software. Network error when attempting to fetch resource. Okay. So, well, that's, is this running on, right, because that's running on PVE02. Okay, give me a minute. Let me go see if that machine powered off for some reason. I'll be right back. Oh, apparently I've got a network conflict. All right. Well, I'll have to figure out what I turned on today that is trying to take the IP address for Proxmox node 2, because it actually is physically powered on. But okay, so let's look at 3. Let's upgrade 3. While this is happening, I'm going to go turn on my AC again. Never mind, that actually is blowing. It's just not cooling this room as quick as I would like. So yeah, let me bring up oh, doggone AI. Okay. All right, so prerequisites. Upgraded to the latest version of Proxmox VE 8.4 on all nodes. That's assuming you've got a cluster, which I don't. Testing the upgrade. An upgrade test can be easily performed using a standalone server. Install 8.4 on test hardware, then upgrade to the latest minor version. Actions step by step. Okay, so once we get done with this update for Proxmox 8, we will see about upgrading this one to 9, because this is my this is an old Optiplex, and I use this mainly for testing purposes. I don't have anything on here that's really critical, and actually nothing on here is running right now, which is great because then I don't really have to worry about it. I would like to see still what, if anything, is showing up for for a potential conflict with my IP for the Proxmox 2. Okay, so we need to reboot that for the kernel update. So we will say reboot, and when this comes up, we will jump to the terminal and see about figuring out what's going on there. So that may take a minute, but what the heck? To pay tribute to TVJ, we will do it live. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, that Homar is running, but we can shut that down. Okay. And now we can come up here and we can open a shell. Okay, what's the worst that could happen? PVE 8 to Y. Well, let's do log out. Maybe it's not restarted yet. And does not appear to be restarted yet. It'll come back up sooner or later. Yeah, so let's do it live, TVJ style. I'm also looking forward to XCP-NG 9.0 version. I've been using XCP at a particular environment and have been enjoying it. Nice. Can you provide your opinion on Ubuntu 25.10 moving to Wayland? Well, I guess I'm at the point where it is what it is, and you know, it was going to happen sooner than later. I think it's, in a way, it's good that they're doing it in 25.10, because then if things go haywire, they've still got time to roll back to X for 2604 LTS. The big caveat here is that it's just Ubuntu proper with GNOME that is moving to Wayland only, because GNOME is moving to Wayland only. The other desktops available on the Ubuntu base, Kubuntu, Lubuntu, Xubuntu, etc., I think are all going to still have an option for X. If I had to, you know, make an educated guess. And it's back up. Yeah, I guess at this point, my opinion is it's not the end of the world. There are other options out there. And for any hardware that doesn't support Wayland only, I will probably use Linux Mint Debian Edition 7 when that comes out later this year, allegedly. Okay, what's the worst that can happen? Failures 1. One custom role used to be dropped, VM monitor privilege, and need to be adapted after upgrade. Okay, so let's take a look. The guest agent subprivileges are audit. Okay, Proxmox VE9 replace the ambiguously named VM monitor privilege with sys.audit. And new dedicated VM guest agent privileges for access to a VM's guest agent. Our audit. Notice storage local LVM has guest volumes with auto activation enabled. Starting with PVE 9, auto activation will be disabled for new LVM thin guest volumes. Okay, so So let's do those are all the VMs. So other than NoCoDB, there's nothing on here that I'm really worried about. In fact, the rest of this stuff, well, the Unify controller. Oh, okay. 102, 103, 104, 105, 112, 118. Okay, those are all stopped. So now you can run the following command to disable auto activation for existing. Okay. So let's do that. Disable auto activation on 19 guest volumes. Yes. Okay. Try this. 6 skip, 2 warnings. 1 custom role to be dropped. Okay, so VM monitor, I don't think I had assigned that to any users. Oh, maybe the Open Tofu user. Okay. Permissions, VM, monitor. All right. I'm guessing this just has everything. VM monitor. Right. Okay. I'm not going to worry about that one. Expansive checks like container C group to compat not perform without -- full. Okay. Failures 1. Okay, I'm not worried about that. Apt update, apt dist upgrade. PVE version, and that's 845. It's good. Okay, update all Debian and Proxmox VE repository entries to Trixie. So we run a sed command, and we run another sed command. We don't need to do that one because that's for enterprise. Well, I'm going to run it anyways. Okay. Cat let's see, apt sources.list. Trixie. Okay. Add the Proxmox VE9 package repository. Okay, so I think if we copy this whole thing, we got to copy these one by one, apparently. We'll see what happens. All right. Refresh package index. Dist upgrade. Yes. All right. Well, we'll see how long this actually takes. So I am also looking for, saw that one. Yeah, I did that. Hopefully version 9 works on the old Dell R710 I'm using. Yeah. I would hope. Quit out of that. Default is no. Restart services during package upgrade without asking, sure. So, yay, things are getting fun again. On the R710, I suspect that it'll run fine because Proxmox is built on top of Debian, so I don't foresee an issue on an R710. Maybe Grish has a little more insight than I do on that. Maybe not. You know what? Why not have fun and put Grish on the spot, right? So I'm optimistic that this will reboot and come back up. So while we're waiting, I suppose we could see if there are any screenshots. Oh, there's a YouTube video, a couple of YouTube videos. So once I can get that HP mini PC I've got going again and have the power button work, I will hook that up to the Comet KVM, and I will do a live install on a clean machine. I got to figure out the issue with the power button. But hey, at least this seems to be going relatively quick. I mean, considering this is an old Dell Optiplex and not like an actual real server. So we're 14% through. It's almost 9 o'clock. So I'm going to hit Josephus up on Signal and see if he's going to grace us with his presence. So let's see. Chris, you're in the spotlight. Still need to install the ATX thing for my Comet. Yeah, I don't have that. I didn't get that with my Comet. Either of my Comets, in fact. I've got two. So, warning, unable to delete old directory, not empty. Okay, I'm not really worried about that. Not really worried about that one. Because, in all honesty, this janky HP machine is even though it's a small or ultra small form factor, tiny, whatever, it is actually faster than the Optiplex, so I will probably turn this into Node 3 and discontinue use of the old Optiplex or turn it into a second Proxmox backup server, which might be the better use for it, right? So we're 29%. We may just finish this up by 9:30. We may end up going till 10. I mean, wouldn't be the Practical IT channel without at least 1 2-hour stream in a week's time. So, while I've got a captive audience to some extent, for those of you who have seen my recent fog video, what did you think? Was that helpful? Did you like the format of it? I really was trying something a little different, and I think I like the format, but you know, considering it's only got just over 100 views in the first 72 hours, I'm not necessarily convinced it's resonating with people. So let's jump over here to content. And it's up to 105. 107. And I'm in the normal range. I really sort of expected more from this video. Only 1.8% impression CTR. Not great. Watch time is a little bit up. Average view duration is a little bit up. And people that have watched it have mostly been returning viewers. So I expect over the next several days and weeks, really, that the new viewer line is going to go up quite a bit, and the returning viewers line is going to flatline. Interestingly enough, over 65% of viewers came from a device larger than a tablet, so either a computer or a TV. Looks like 0 watched it on a tablet. So I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence on whether the new format is something I want to test longer term over multiple videos, or if it's something that, you know, based on the feedback I can see and the stats so far, if I should just 86 it. Let's see. What am I on the spot for? Sorry, Mystery Mark. What are your thoughts on whether Proxmox 9 will run on Terrell's Dell R710? I thought maybe you would have a response to that question. I suspect it will, but I don't own an R710, so I can't really say for sure. I don't have the specs for that machine in my head. Mini GP Racing, right on. I need to work on my fog system, so I'll watch when I have time. Very good. I appreciate that. Yeah, I did this video a little different than I've done previous videos. I'd be interested to hear what your feedback is on it after you've had a chance to watch through it. No idea really about the kernel. I don't see any reason why it would not run. That's kind of what I was thinking. You know, since Proxmox is built on Debian, and Debian tends to be a little more conservative about dropping support for older hardware, I suspect it will be fine. But again, that's just speculation on my part. We've hit 65%. So far, so good. Nothing that is too crazy that I've seen scrolling by so far. Mostly just warnings about not being able to delete directories that are not empty. So yeah, 72%. We're not doing too bad. Probably this week, off from work this week. Nice. enjoy your break from work. Hey, TVJ. In your honor, we are doing it live. I am updating one of my Proxmox machines from the 8.4 version to 9.0 beta. Mount point, boot EFI. It's world accessible. Well, it's not an EFI system. Not booted with EFI, skipping EFI variable setup. That I would expect. Why it's insisting on copying EFI stuff when it's a non-EFI system, I don't know, but we'll cross that bridge when the system comes back up, right? Got here late. How long has this image been going? It was around 8:30-ish when we started really pushing into talking about doing this upgrade. So maybe we're hitting 30 minutes, 25 minutes, somewhere in that region. So I started the stream with pushing an image from Fog to an Intel NUC that had been donated to the channel, just to show that, hey, you can run Fog in a VM and push the image to a physical machine with no real issue. And it did boot up just fine. So we're at 93% of this on this now, 94. I suspect this is going to boot without too much of an issue. Moving legacy SDN fabrics directory. I'll be interested to read up on what their new SDN approach is. So hopefully we'll get to see a 9.0 beta system here shortly. Excuse me. Well, I would show my Proxmox data center manager, but that is currently down. Um, 97%. It's getting close. It's getting close. So okay, well, let's see. That's the command we need to run after this finishes. It's at 97%. So we are hopefully in the home stretch. And just as I say that, it starts moving again. 98%. Sure. Well, PV firewall. Okay, everything is looking pretty solid. Kernel 6.14.8-1. Okay, well, now is the acid test. So we come here to Proxmox PVE 03, and we come up here for the actual node. And we say reboot. And we cross our fingers. We'll log out even. So that's 192. And we'll just let the ping run for a while. And it's down. Let's see how long it'll take to come back up. My runs as a VM in XCPNG, no problems there either. Jacob, welcome. We are doing a TVJ style live demonstration upgrade in place from Proxmox 8.4 to 9.0 beta. So, what could possibly go wrong? Don't answer that. We've all seen what could possibly go wrong, both on my channel and on Jay's channel. Well, I got a Gotify message. Warning, system requires reboot after package updates from PVE 03. Yeah, I was pretty aware of that. So, and we are apparently back up again. So, all right. Doesn't look a whole lot different. Virtual environment 9.0.0-10 beta. So far, so good. We've got 2 containers that have started back up. And what is the... I need to do this command. So we will come back up here and we'll open a shell. And it says to run apt modernize sources. Okay. That works. So we've got things coming back up. There's NoCoDB relaunched. Still don't understand why. This is acting like it's down. Oh well, I'll figure it out later. So yeah, this is running on, man, this machine is old. What is this running on? I believe it's a Dell Optiplex 7010. I think it's a 4th gen Intel system. Yeah, it's got an Intel i5 3475S. That tells you how old it is. It's a quad core with no hyper-threading. But it makes a nice little test bench system for playing with new versions of Proxmox. At least it has up to this point, and you know, it's all good. But if I can get this all cleaned up, I will probably just retire this machine and use the little HP. Oh, I haven't had that up in a while. Anyway, I guess it works. I don't see too many graphical changes. Sort key, VMID, or name. Okay. Interesting. I'm curious. Yeah, it's I don't see much in the line of graphical differences. Yeah, CPUs have gotten so good. They really have. Even hosting stuff from an old system, you don't notice a difference from an end user perspective. Efficiency hurts though on older. Oh yeah, that's why I'm trying to migrate it out and use nothing older than like an 8th gen Intel. I don't think I have any AMD stuff that's older than 3rd gen, so I'm okay there. Run just fine on the Dell Dual Xeon 5665 with 72 gigs of RAM. Nice. I might recommend upgrading the host to an HP T740. Yeah, that would be an option for sure. Haley, welcome in. He wants to know if you're getting rid of your big virtualization server. I don't have any plans to at the moment. But I know you've shown some interest in it before. So if I were to get rid of it, then you'd be the first call I'd make. HPT 740 thin client. Okay, nice. I have 8 of them in my lab. Very cool. Very cool. So, yeah. No, at this point, I plan to keep the big server around for a while, because it gives me a good amount of headroom for different things. But these smaller units are useful for like the Proxmox Data Center Manager, testing out new versions of Proxmox, you know, things of that things of that nature. But I've got some of this older equipment around that I just want it to go away. Trying to downsize a little bit, but as long as I can keep everything into my one rack, that's, I don't know, I think it's a 12, it's either a 12 or 18U rack that I've got. And I think it was more meant to be a like audio rack. But I've always had servers in it, and I got a sweet deal on it when I bought it, like 7 or 8 years ago. So got a deal on a lot of 5 that has a BIOS locked, hardware program, the chip, and back to working. Nice. Well, it's not really your fault. I kind of went live on a whim at 8 or just after 8. And here we are at 9:25. So I was feeling it, so I decided, well, let's just push ourselves live now and see where the night takes us. But we did. I started off the stream with if I can find this, GLKVM, with this guy. This is an Intel NUC that was donated to the channel a while back. I've had it set up for various things since I've had it in my possession, but I thought today would be a good day to test it with deploying an image from Fog. So I deployed this Linux Mint that I had created the image for as I was preparing for my last Fog video. So, you know, it's what are the specs on this thing? That's not what I wanted to open. Looked at this earlier, but this is system info. It's an Intel Pentium N3700, 4 cores at 1.6 gigahertz. So not the speediest thing out there, but it's usable. It's got 8 gigs of RAM. This is the kind of system that personally I would tend to run headless with some sort of Linux on it and not using a graphical interface. But let's, just for the sake of argument, let's shut this down, because I believe here in virtual media, I'm going to trash this one because I can always reload it. And so that should be shut down now. And yes, the light is off. That should be deleting that. Virtual media. Oh, whoops. Yeah, because I had set the computer to shut down, and when it shut down, apparently cut off the USB power to the KVM as well. And yes, it does appear that that's the case. Okay, well, anyway, yes, everybody, please hit the like button. I will humor everybody, and I'll put this up. It is what it is. But not in the face. Have an HP Mini Elite Desk 800 G2. Nice. This one is a ProDesk 600 G4. So I'm not sure if that's better or worse than what you got there, Alonzo. And YouTube is back to not notifications of his live. So Terrell, that's my fault tonight. I will take ownership of that one. I started something that I didn't know if it was going to work. And when it did, I hit the go live button. I didn't schedule anything. I just started broadcasting. So that's on me. I'll own it tonight, but typically the problem does in fact lie with YouTube and not with me. But this time I can actually own that one. All right, so let me rejigger this a little bit, and maybe we'll see if we can load up the 9.0 ISO on the Comet, and maybe we can get it installed on this HP machine. All right, so what do we have here? We have power. Let's see. Go back here. We'll do a refresh. This is probably going to take a minute. Looks like the KVM is booting. It's got a solid light on there. So okay, so that booted into Ubuntu. So let's try to trash this again. Confirm. Okay, that went a whole lot faster. Now, let's see if there is is there a 9.0? There is a beta ISO. Okay, so um, 9.0 beta. Download that to my local drive. Save that. And we might just have a little bit of fun tonight, right? 1.5 gig ISO image. Okay. So now we should be able to go here and look at that. Proxmox VE 9.0 beta. And that'll take a minute or 2 or 3 to load that up. And HP ProDesk boot menu key. Access boot menu on a ProDesk. Press the escape key repeatedly while the computer is starting up. All right. So that's all good. YouTube is back to not notifying of its live. I stumbled on it. I still can blame YouTube. That's fair. They deserve it. I have one of the Nano KVM not recommended as it failed after about 3 uses. Support is lacking. F9 should also go to the boot menu. Okay, that's good to know. So, in all honesty, the other reason I went live earlier tonight is because I've got to be at work for an 8:30 staff meeting tomorrow morning. Yes, they decided to do staff meetings on Monday mornings. Woohoo! And then in the fall, starting, I guess, in August, they're moving them to Friday mornings. Cheers. That'll be fun. Okay, operation succeeded. Now, what we want to do is we actually want to boot into RescueZilla first. Image mounting, and we want to do RescueZilla, mount image. And we're going to restart. And then we'll start spamming F9 and escape. sure enough, and now it doesn't want to let me select anything else. Okay. Well, that'll probably boot back into Ubuntu. There is another solution to this issue if I have to. I'll just have to leave the room to do it. Let's try this one more time. Okay. Right. I see. Let me try something else here. Make sure that's the. It's not the one that does power. Okay, so we'll plug that in here. We'll take this one. There we go. This might work a little better. Not what I want. It's not doing what I want. Well, do I have another keyboard around? Because there's another way to do this. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. Okay. Well, brought another keyboard in. So now we should be able to do this. All right. We are going to go to, oh, well, it doesn't like the ISO image. So can we, do this and just turn off some of this other stuff? Maybe we can cancel advanced boot options. So what if we do this? This has been made to disable. Maybe we can make this cooperate. No, so we need to do mount to remote, image mounting, this one, mount image, don't remind me, and then we need to restart it again. And then maybe we can wipe the drive and start fresh. What's the HP at work are funny about getting into boot prompt and net boot prompt on a reboot? Often need to go from a cold boot. I think F11 is net boot on HP. Yeah, I'm not trying to do a net boot. I'm trying to boot from a mounted from mounted virtual media from the RescueZilla ISO image. And it is not playing nice. Unless it's just a KVM that's all right, let's try this from a cold boot. Firmware settings. So if that actually takes me into firmware settings, maybe I can just reconfigure the boot order. All right. Yeah, that's not seeing the mounted image from the KVM memory. So I guess that's that for tonight. I'm going to call it quits. It's 10 minutes to 10 at this point anyways. We, at the very minimum, got we got one Proxmox node updated to Proxmox 9 beta, which is great. And my NUC DB is coming back up as expected. So yep, there's my movie collection, or part of it anyways. It's only got 99 records. I know I've got more than that. Music collection only shows 93, and I know I've got more than that. So yeah, I've got to get back to working on the inventory. So yeah, I've done some playing with this inventory, and this has a lot of stuff cataloged. Have not got really into the video game collection inventory, so that'll be something I'll probably pick up in the fall again. But Yeah, we got through a few things tonight. We got through a few things tonight. So I'm going to still have to figure out why this isn't accessible, and it was earlier today. I still don't understand that one. I'm not sure why. If I disconnect from this, timeout. All right. Well, that's interesting. I'll have to figure that one out. So I guess that's all I've got for tonight. We'll hang out for the last 8 minutes and 15 seconds and wrap this up right at the 2-hour mark. After I get done here, I'm going to make myself a little snack, and then I'm probably going to get clothes laid out for tomorrow and head to bed. Yeah, like I said, I've got an 8:30 a.m. staff meeting, and I don't think I've got anything really I need to prep for that, but I'm going to quick go into my work machine and double check that. Provided it's still on. Okay. So, any final questions, comments, things you'd like to see in upcoming videos? This would be a great time. Why is Action 1 not coming up? Well, that's not cool. Well, everybody's clammed up all of a sudden. I guess. All right, let's try this again. And now it's working. Go figure. Yes, I can connect. So let's see. Looking for my WordPress book. Need to set up a site this week. Nice. I'm going to be spending some more time here, fairly quick, working in. That's not the password I want. Spending some more time working in WordPress. I've got a couple of things I need to do on the library website before August rolls around. I also want to get one of my sites back up and going again. That's not what I want. I want Monitor 2. Let's see. So, yeah. I've got a domain that I purchased, and I just need to build out the website for it. That's not what I want. Human resources. All right. So anyway, that's what I have coming up with. WordPress for your blog. Nice. So in any event, I guess we made it through a few things tonight, and even though Josephus did not grace us with his presence tonight, we survived. So, yeah. Thank you all for being here, and for your continued support of the channel. If you know anybody else that would like some of these videos or might have suggestions for topics that I could cover, or might be interested in a collaboration video, send them my way. I'm looking to maybe change some things up here for going into August, because I had a few months now that just have not been kind to me, and I want to turn that back around again. So I have a suspicion that it's ultimately going to come down to just me making more long form videos, and you know, that's that. So in any event, you're very welcome. Have a good night, David. Let's have chats about our home networks. That is a great idea. And I think I've got an idea on how I can do this, and not necessarily do it as a live stream. So I'll think on that tonight and maybe tomorrow night, and whip something up, and maybe I can get that that new website up, at least stubbed out enough that I have a contact form on it, and you know, I can get some people doing a private interview type stream with me, and then I can edit that down and include it in a long form video where everybody gets the chance to talk about their home labs. I think that could be interesting. Yeah, more long form videos is kind of what I'm leaning towards going forward. Topology, VLAN, etc. Yep. Yeah, I've been very impressed with that video, David, and I've tried to map out my own spin on it, and I've got ideas. I just have to formalize those ideas and then record the footage. So, all right. Well, sounds like we've got a solid plan going forward. So I will give that some more thought, and then send something out in the members signal chat to start with, and then moving from that out to a more broad audience, and see how many people bite. So feel free to use whatever ideas my video provides. Thank you. I will definitely keep that in mind. I will keep that in mind. I think I'd gone so far as to mock up a thumbnail at one point. So, but yeah, I've got a couple ways that, couple things I want to do that would make it a variation on your approach, I guess. I got to bring one piece of equipment of mine home from the library, and then figure out just how I'm going to set up to record it. That's the big thing right now. So, but I can make it work. Guess I should get this mic off from out of the frame. Oh well. Apparently I've got Tony's problem, and I'm fidgeting with my mic too much. So, all right. We made it 2 hours and 4 minutes. Ding. So I'm going to get out of this chair and make sure I've got stuff ready for tomorrow. And then I'm going to get some sleep so I can make sure I get to this 8:30 a.m. staff meeting. Joy. Have a good night, everybody.